Andrew, it looks like I will need a little bit of GCA to really far away from here.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe just go ahead and ingress and then come toward me.
I have to drop my...
Yeah, absolutely.
My pedal first.
Yeah. And it looks like you'll have plenty of reach to get somewhere.
I think this position here is a pretty good one to draw my safety with my...
Yeah.
Luca, I'll take that handrail number where you dropped your safety tether if you see it.
It's actually... I don't see it. It's on the frame.
Okay.
It's the hoop. It's right below with 6.
Okay, that works, Luca.
It's a hoop
Thanks.
on the frame. It's a FM store. It's very convenient.
Sounds good.
Okay, now I'm going to ingress the arm. That makes sense.
Okay, copy that, Luca. And would you like that manual maneuver first, or do you want to go where you are?
I think it's easier if I just go where I am and then you drive.
Okay, copy. Brakes are still on.
Okay, that's good, Luca. The only other thing I wanted to talk to you about before you pick up the box is glove and a half check, and then we'll check your glove heaters and cooling.
The heaters are both off. I did a glove check during the LOS, and I have pristine gloves and my hat is dry.
Okay, sounds good. Well played on the LOS glove check. It's clever. And the only other thing is lights.
Our lights are on.
I confirm that my lights are both on.
This is Mission Control Houston. Parmitano is still trying to navigate into the foot restraint. You can see him over on the right of your screen. He is wearing the suit with the red stripes.
Your VRT is kind of preventing.
He'll be in the foot restraint of the Canadarm2 throughout most of today's spacewalk, as the Canadarm2 will provide him the necessary access to all of the intricate work sites of the alpha magnetic spectrometer. To the left of the screen, Andrew Morgan holding the new pump system. Once Parmitano is in place, he'll hand that pump system over to Parmitano, who will ride the Canadarm2 over to the work site to have it installed, taking sort of the express elevator route to the alpha magnetic spectrometer, while Andrew Morgan goes back into the airlock, grabs some tools, and takes the stairs over to the Starboard 3 work site. On the top are the zenith-facing, that's the space-facing side of the International Space Station.
Okay, Luca, I'm going to give you that starboard motion. You're going to be going about on 1 meter station starboard.
Copy.
In motion.
good motion, good clearance from my perspective.
Concur, good motion.
All right, Luca, now I'm going to bring you station nadir about a meter.
Okay.
Starting motion.
That's good motion and good clearance.
Good.
Jessica Meir at the controls of the station's robotic arm, maneuvering Parmitano, currently in the foot restraint. Background there, you can see the International Space Station 266 statute miles over the South Atlantic Ocean. What you're seeing is the east coast of Argentina.
You think you can lean forward to it?
Morgan now handing off the new pump system over to Parmitano.
You would be a key. Okay, Jessica. If you still have motion, I will take another half a meter starboard.
Okay, copy that, Luca. We'll give you another half a meter starboard.
I have a very good view of the arm and everything is clear.
Okay, we copy. Starting motion.
Motion.
Clearance.
Continuing. Here's your half meter.
And it's a good position. Do you think you can lower it a little bit? Yeah, that's good. I have a red on it. You can release your red.
Okay, you have a red on it.
GPA complete, Jessica.
And you have a
You stay complete.
And you have a hand
I
on
have
it.
a hand on it. I have control.
You have control? My red is released. It's your pump.
It's my pump. I have control. I have a red. I have everything on it.
Okay, and if you want me to stand by to help any check on your looks like you're rotating it just fine.
Yeah, I want you to check the AAF from your side.
Roger that.
Whenever you're ready.
Yep. Hey, they're looking good. I think the bundle is still attached, and 2 and 4 look to be tucked in like they were when we put it in. So,
A great view of Parmitano at the end of the station's robotic arm.
yeah, the APFR is the biggest thing right now. And I see your tethers all look good. And I see the tether, your safety tether you're leaving behind looks good. So,
One of my foot is out.
okay, stand by. I'm going to get a hand on
I'm
it.
back in. I'm good.
Okay.
A great view of the pump system now next to the body of Parmitano. That new pump system, 350 pounds, about 159 kilograms.
They're locked, aren't they?
Let me have a...
Yeah, I'm locked. I'm locked.
Okay, all right.
Okay, Drew, you're picking up crew log bag 4 and heading out. Don't forget your poorman's fair lead at the Cedar Spur. Luca, you're on your way.
Jessica, your go for your maneuvers.
Okay, stand by, Luca. We have a few things to configure here before we get moving again.
Copy.
All right, I'm on the move. Work site.
See the work site.
Parmitano set with the new pump in tow, waiting for the next procedures for Jessica Meir to maneuver the arm to the work site. In the meantime, Morgan making his way back to the airlock. Inside will be a box of tools. First things first, they needed to move that new pump system over and work together to maneuver it over to that spot where it is now. Now, with some free hands, Morgan's going to make his way back to the airlock and grab some of the tools that are necessary to complete the work here at the alpha magnetic spectrometer.
Data looks good. Met rates look good, so we're in good shape.
Excellent. Good to hear.
Your next job is don't let go of the box and enjoy the view.
Two things are mutually exclusive because the view is blocked by the box, but I think I'll hold on to the box.
Okay, that's a good call.
Again, Parmitano with that new box in his hands. Of course, he'll have the Earth right underneath him. Now the International Space Station, 262 statute miles over the South Atlantic, making a northeasterly trip. Should hit the western border of Africa just about 20 minutes or so. That new box, though, 350 pounds, 159 kilograms. Inside, the intricate work being done on the ground to make sure everything, all the connections would be easy, or at least as easy as possible for the two spacewalking astronauts. Some very fine parts that are difficult to work with gloves, but teams on the ground were able to design systems to be easily integratable with the alpha magnetic spectrometer with minimal connections. The dimensions there, 42 inches by 32.25 inches by 16.25 inches. That's about 107 by 81 by 40 centimeters.
Good motion.
Copy, continuing.
And Parmitano on his way. His job is to essentially deliver that new pump to the alpha magnetic spectrometer by way of the Canadarm2. Morgan's job will be to retrieve some of the tools from the crew lock, that's the airlock of the International Space Station, some of the critical tools that will be needed to install the pump. One of the tools in tow by Parmitano is the pistol grip tool he'll use to drive bolts to install that pump. But some of the finer tools, specially designed for the repair of the alpha magnetic spectrometer, being retrieved by Morgan now.
Here to open a spur.
I'm trying to reel out a fair lead there. Like it's going to stay.
Luca, we're ready to start this first JOCAS. It'll be 2 minutes.
Copy, 2 minutes JOCAS.
Starting motion.
As Parmitano makes his way up to the work site of the alpha magnetic spectrometer, we'll be taking some questions using the hashtag AskNASA. This one from Timmy, who's asking, what is the device with the gold dishes on the space station? Right now, that's at the bottom, or the top left corner of your screen, just coming out of view now. Those are the solar arrays of the Cygnus cargo vehicle. That's the Cygnus CRS-12. That vehicle was the one that delivered the pump that you're seeing now in the hands of Luca Parmitano. Those are the Ultraflex solar arrays that are used while the Cygnus is in flight to the International Space Station. One of the many cargo vehicles that visit the International Space Station. delivering critical components like the one you're seeing right now in the hands of Luca Parmitano, and some of the tools and equipment that are used for the spacewalk itself. Parmitano undergoing some of the maneuvers by Jessica Meir. Jessica Meir at the hands of the robotic arm, maneuvering Luca Parmitano over to the work site.
Give us a moment while we load the next showcast.
Copy, standing by.
Just off screen from this view is Luca Parmitano. At the end of the robotic arm, you can see the latching end effector of the robotic arm, essentially the hand. That gold structure off to the side, that's the articulating portable foot restraint, the APFR. You'll hear that acronym a few times. That's the foot restraint that's currently holding Luca Parmitano. Off in the distance, that's Andrew Morgan, with tools in tow on his way to the work site, the alpha magnetic spectrometer. From this view, you can see just off to the top there, that white structure on the very top of the truss, just before the solar rays that are pointing to the top right. 50 minutes into today's spacewalk. Everything on track so far.
We're ready for the next showcast. This one's going to be 3.5 minutes. Ready, motion.
As Parmitano makes his way to the alpha magnetic spectrometer work site, on the top right you see the external pallet delivered by the HTV-8. That's the H2 transfer vehicle, a Japanese cargo vehicle that delivered lithium-ion batteries earlier this year. That pallet still has 3 lithium-ion batteries attached to it. Some of the nickel-hydrogen batteries from one of the space station's power channels are already on that pallet. The rest will be installed next year.
And at the work site,
Okay, Drew. Crew log bag 4 is going down the LC, and then you can set up the bags in the APFR.
and work.
Andrew Morgan reporting that he's already at the work site. Parmitano you see at the end of the station's robotic arm. He's carrying the highlighted component of today. That's that new pump that'll give the alpha magnetic spectrometer the life it needs. That's a cooling pump. and will allow the alpha magnetic spectrometer to continue to collect particles throughout the life of the station.
That's position hold. 1 moment while we load the next showcast.
Copy.
Jessica Meir working at the controls of the robotic arm, currently holding and waiting that next position. In the meantime, we'll continue to answer Ask NASA questions. Keep using the hashtag AskNASA to send them in. This question comes from David. David's asking, how does the alpha magnetic spectrometer collect particles? A very good question. The key word there in alpha magnetic spectrometer is magnetic. There's a very powerful magnet inside the alpha magnetic spectrometer, significantly more powerful than the magnetic field of the Earth even. And what the magnet does is as cosmic rays and other cosmic particles pass through the alpha magnetic spectrometer, the magnet allows those particles to spin in a certain direction, a certain speed, a certain diameter. And that spin can be calculated and measured inside the AMS as a data point, one of several billion. The alpha magnetic spectrometer essentially gathering data with this magnet, measuring that spin and what kinds of particles. Depending on the direction of the spin and the mass of the particle itself, they can detect whether it's an electron or perhaps an antimatter like positron. Both of the same mass, but if they spin in different directions, it's a data point for...
No doubt, as are we. Did you make use of that adjustable out there for the fair lead as well?
A data point for more of the cosmic particles that may reveal the origins of the universe. In the meantime, Parmitano is still making his way over to the alpha magnetic spectrometer, the white structure you see sort of at the top of the truss there, just before the solar arrays. That's the S3 truss, that's where the alpha magnetic spectrometer is housed. Morgan already there, getting his tool situated, getting ready for Parmitano, making sure everything's set for when he arrives. First thing to do would be to install that new pump system.
Here's position hold, Luca. We'll now load the next showcast.
Copy.
Fair lead is down. Large, small rets are on the bags.
From this view, you can see the feet of Andrew Morgan poking out near the work site. That's the alpha magnetic spectrometer. You can see AMS on the blanket there. He's working his tether configuration and making sure that he's all set up, since they'll be there for the entirety of today's spacewalk. Not too far behind Luca Parmitano, you can see making his way at the end of the station's robotic arm over to the alpha magnetic spectrometer. The new pump in tow. That'll be the first task once they get over to the alpha magnetic spectrometer, installing that box. Much of the prep work has already been done on a previous spacewalk. This prep work includes installing a mechanical attachment device. This is the device that will hold the new pump system, routing some of the cables that will be connected to the new pump system, and cutting some of the tubes that will be connected to the new pump system. A mechanical attachment device. This is the device that will hold the new pump system, routing some of the cables that will be connected to the new pump system, and cutting some of the tubes that will be connected to the new pump system. A mechanical attachment device. This is the device.
Okay, copy that, Drew.
Stand by, Luca, starting
Hold the new
in
pump system,
5 seconds.
routing some of the cables that will be connected to the new pump system, and cutting some of the tubes that will be connected to the new pump system. A mechanical attachment device. This is the device.
Okay, copy that, Drew.
Stand by, Luca, starting
Hold the new
in
pump system,
5 seconds.
routing some of the cables that will be connected to the new pump system, and cutting some of the tubes that will be connected to the new Great communication by the crew aboard the International Space Station. Jessica Meir inside at the controls of the station's robotic arm.
5 seconds.
Routing some of the cables that will be connected to the new pump system, and hearing Jeremy Hansen, the ground communication by IV. He's the voice here in Mission Control Houston to the spacewalking astronauts. Controls of the station's robotic arm.
5 seconds.
Routing some of the cables that will be connected to the new pump system, and hearing Jeremy Hansen, the ground communication by IV. He's the voice here in Mission Control Houston to the spacewalking astronauts. Controls of the station's robotic arm.
Still here then. I just power cycled it.
Hearing Jeremy
thanks,
Hansen,
Drew.
the
And
ground
if you get a chance, check your mirror and see if you have a green light.
I got a green light now. Yeah, green light.
Thanks.
Parmitano continuing to make his way over. Once at the worksite, Parmitano from this angle will be positioned sort of upside down, his head pointing towards the Earth. Morgan, on the other hand, will be on the nadir side, on the bottom side of the alpha magnetic spectrometer, his head facing towards space. Parmitano's job will be to insert the new box into the mechanical attachment device that had been installed on the previous spacewalk. And it will be Morgan's job to help guide Parmitano and the box into the mechanical attachment device. There's a soft dock and a bolt. That bolt fits perfectly with the mechanical attachment device and allows for a good alignment.
So position hold. We'll load the next showcast.
It sort of just holds the box in place to allow for the a stable position and allow for the data and power connections to be routed to the specified locations on the box. That'll be the next task once it's installed. Now getting a view from the helmet camera of Luca Parmitano. You can see some of the attachments for data and power from the view of Luca Parmitano's helmet camera.
All right, Luca, the next showcast will be 3.5 minutes.
Copy, ready.
Starting motion.
crew lock back 4 into under the fish strainer.
Okay. And that's in the green bag then?
Yeah, fish strainer and green bag.
Okay, copy.
A little more than an hour into today's spacewalk, starting at 5:31 a.m. Central Time. Morgan already situated at the work site. Parmitano almost there on his way currently. Again, he'll be positioned sort of upside down from this view to allow him access to install the box that's currently in tow, that 350-pound new pump system. Parmitano almost at the work site to install that new box. Again, throughout today's broadcast, we'll be answering questions using the hashtag AskNASA. As Parmitano makes his way to the work site, he's practiced this plenty of times on the ground. Michelle asks, what are the procedures for practicing the spacewalks, and how are the situations simulated in the interior of the space station?
And then we will be bringing you station nadir 2 meters. So Drew, that will be bringing him down toward EMS.
Okay, copy. So toward his head.
Affirm.
Okay, Luca, we're already going to need a little bit of lean back. And Missy's just off to your left. And that's good lean right there, and you'll be able to see with that lean back, you'll be able to see that you're able to clear AMS. It is at about maybe half a meter. It's perfect. It's perfect. Let's do that.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, Drew and Luca, we're ready for motion.
Ready for motion.
All right, starting motion.
Morgan, from his angle, providing some insight.
Copy.
The view from Parmitano blocked by the 42 by 32 by 16-inch new pump. Still in constant communication with Jessica Meir at the controls of the Canadarm2. Assisted by Christina Cook.
Okay, I would say stop motion here.
Starting motion.
Okay, so Luca, I would hold that right there. So we're really close to AMS, and so I think the next thing that we need to do is go toward DLC, toward your back, about a half meter. Right now, you don't have the room to put the pump in front of you. We need to give you some more clearance.
So I can lean back more. So I would say let her drive to the position, then we'll go to my right,
okay.
And I'll lean back, rather than drive the arm. I can lean back. See, I can do this.
Okay.
And then I can split the pump.
Okay, copy. And I'm going to move over to AMS then.
It'll be 40 centimeters to go to the published position.
And Jessica, I think I'll save those.
Okay, copy. And Drew, are you ready as well?
We're going to continue 40 centimeters towards your head. Okay. All right, I'm ready for motion.
Starting motion.
Morgan providing that critical guidance.
Good motion, good clearance.
Working in tandem with Jessica Mira, the controls of the robotic arm, assisted by Cook inside the International Space Station, Parmitano at the end of the station's robotic arm. Right now they're trying to get into a position to dock the new pump system to...
The big concern is just we're radiator to AMS right now, and I think you're going to need a little bit of back off, but if you want to accept this?
I think I will accept it. Jessica, I'll take 40 centimeters to my right.
Okay, copy. We need to get into the snapshot mode, so give us a minute, and then we'll get to that.
You have eyes on the map?
I do.
Okay. All right, you're going to feel me I'm going to be giving it gentle guides here, just to keep it from bumping into a handrail, but we're looking real good.
All right, thanks.